There are new photographs that have the Defense Secretary apologizing. Here's ABC's Martha Raddatz.
The photographs are so disturbing. A soldier smiling, the hand of a dead insurgent placed mockingly on his shoulder. Or this one, where soldiers hold the severed legs of a suicide bomber. Almost all of the men in the photos have now been identified and are under criminal investigation. Taken 2 years ago, these images were just recently given to the Los Angeles Times by a soldier in the same battalion.
That behavior that was depicted in those photos absolutely violates both our regulations and, more importantly, our core values.
But these apologies have come every month this year. January, Marines shown urinating on a Taliban corpse. February, copies of the Muslim holy book inadvertently burned. March, a soldier accused of the massacre of Afghan civilians. While the Pentagon says there is no excuse for such behavior, more than 1,800 U.S. forces have died in Afghanistan. The Times says virtually every man in the picture had friends who were killed or wounded by homemade bombs or suicide attackers, just like the ones they were posing with in the pictures. Martha Raddatz, ABC News, Washington.
You know, I just don't understand why they think this is unusual behavior. You know, for these soldiers to take pictures holding body parts. And how bad it really is, and how, and they're investigating them now. You know, now the reason I'm saying that is for a really good reason. All you got to do is look around you. Look around you in society. Look on the internet. For an example, YouTube. Okay? Let's look at YouTube's behavior, what their rules and their guidelines. Their behavior is they pick out who they want them rules to apply to. They don't apply to everybody. Let's look at Illinois. If you're filming somebody, if you get caught audio or filming a cop, it's a felony, but he can video you all he wants, but you can't video him. Okay? Let's look at the trolls. People who get off on attacking somebody that they don't even know, that's never done a fucking thing to them, just to try to get inside their head to hurt them. That's right. Let's look at that. Let's look at the bullying that goes on online, offline, in the schoolyard, off the schoolyard. Okay? And like the video I did earlier, where it's condoned behavior to bully somebody, but when somebody stands up for themselves, they're not allowed to. So let's look at that. Let's look at the fact that people don't have any common sense. The majority of people in today's society don't even know what common sense is, let alone have any. Okay? And then let's look at the way we all sit back and we just let our government, our politicians do whatever they fucking want. We do nothing about it because we won't stand together. Why won't we stand together? Well, because of stuff like Trayvon. See, we got the blacks accusing the whites accusing the blacks, the Mexicans accusing the blacks accusing the Mexicans accusing the whites accusing the Mexicans, and on and on and on and on and on. With this fucking babyish, childish hogwash. Because that's what it is. Because society has failed to grow up since the beginning of time. That's the one thing that mankind has never done, is grow the fuck up. But you're going to act surprised about soldiers holding pictures of body parts when nowadays people get their thrills out of hurting somebody. No lie. Nowadays, it's fun to hurt or maim or kill somebody, isn't it? All you got to do is look around you. You know, anybody that can have the sick behavior to be a troll on the internet. They represent somebody that would also hold a body part. That's right. They represent that behavior. But you people don't seem to have a problem with that, do you? To you, that's norm, isn't it? Okay? And then I can look around me and from the bullying that we see going on, the suicide rate amongst men, how we placed one gender over the top of the other gender, okay? How that's been going on for years and years and years and decades and decades and decades, where we've placed one gender above the other, okay? Causing more division. I mean, you know, the list just goes on and on and on. It really does. The behavior of people. How we love to treat each other like fucking dirt. How we get our rocks off on treating each other like dirt. How somebody always wants to be above somebody else. How we enslave one another, okay? You know, the blacks complain about how they were enslaved, okay? But if you go back as far as you can go in history, you find out that people have been enslaving people since almost the beginning of time. I didn't say the beginning, I said almost. Why have people been enslaving other human beings, other people? Because people are fucking sick. They don't stand up for themselves against a sick fuck neither. You know, it's just like, example would be in Africa. Okay, the blacks claim that we brought them over here out of their land, native land, and we enslaved them. Okay? But here's the two things that nobody ever wants to talk about. And they'll dodge it. Okay? It'll be dodged at all costs. Why? Because they know if it was to be acknowledged and talked about, they know it's right. They know it's correct. But it fucks up their excuse. That's right. It fucks up their excuse to keep division. Couldn't have that now, could we? Wouldn't want to fuck up the excuse to keep division going now, would we? That means we might have to grow up. Don't want to do that. That's been the epic failure since the beginning of time, isn't it? What am I talking about? You said, well, every country on the face of this earth, at one time or another in their history, has had their own wars within their own country, like we did with the Civil War. That's right. Do some looking. You'll find this to be true, including Africa. And so many, many eons ago, when Africa was having their wars within their own country, like every country has, and people were fighting for power, control, that's right, over other human beings, over resources, that's right. Well, while they're fighting for the control, we have what? People at the top, governments, right? Okay. And bankers, of course. And now, so they're over there fighting, and like every war, there's prisoners taken. That's right, prisoners of war. And happens in every country. It's throughout all of history, okay? So what happened was simple. Africa was having a war within its own country, like all countries have. Prisoners that was taken from one side and held, okay, by government officials of one side that's fighting the other side, right? Has these prisoners. And then they sell out their very own people. That's right. These black leaders sold out their very own people and sold their people as slaves to the white man, to the white criminals. The white criminals come over and bought them because they were offered for sale for slavery. But they were offered for sale by other black people. Black people selling black people into slavery. Now the white man gets the credit for that. It's all their fault. It's all their fault that some other black people sold some black people to white people. White people should know them better to buy them. Well, now I agree they should have never bought them because that's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's period wrong. But see, mankind has enslaved each other since the beginning of time. Then we have what the other thing that people seem to forget. We had our Civil War when the North fought the South to free the slaves. That's right. So the white people up north got in a fight with people down south who wanted to keep the slaves that they bought. And the white people up north says, no, it's wrong. Because it was wrong. And fought. And hid them out. And fought. Wound up with a civil war to free them. To give them back their lives. Okay? But are the white people who fought to help the freedom of slavery, to stop this bullshit from happening, are they given any credit in today's society? No, not at all. They're called a racist too, ain't they? That's right. They're called names too, for in the name of division. That's right. All in the name of division. See, now that's just a little example of history, and if we went and followed history all the way through history, we'd find out everything I just told you is not only true, but this is the hypocrisy of the whole damn thing. You're going to sit there and complain about these soldiers holding body parts and taking pictures with it, loving it. What did you expect to happen when you can have people online who get their rocks off being a troll? Who get their rocks off attacking somebody that never done nothing to them that don't even know them? And the whole intent is to hurt them. Because when they hurt them, it makes them feel big inside. Yeah. So, you know, when I look at the behavior of people in today's society, and then you want to act surprised about somebody holding a body part on them and taking a picture with that? And saying how wrong that is? How about waking up and looking at people's fucking behavior, period? Where do you think that behavior came from? It came from what's going on around you right now. What did you expect? You know, school systems look the other way when somebody's being bullied. Then grown adult bullies think that, try to tell you that you're supposed to man up, become tough, and just to take it. That it's part of life. And then complain when somebody kills somebody. Oh, that's not right. What did you expect to happen? Just like when you keep one gender above another. That's right. Power and greed. The virus that attacks the human brain. And people treat each other like dirt. Create the person who kills you. Then you whine when you fucking somebody gets killed because they created their own killer. And you say how it's not right. But what's right here? What's right, period? See, nobody wants what's right. That's the problem. This planet is what we make of it. We, the humans, make this planet what it is. And if we ever grow the fuck up and learn how to get along and be adults and start treating each other the way we all want to be treated, ourselves, then and only then will we have a decent world. Until then, well, get used to it. Don't be complaining about somebody holding a picture with body parts. Because they got their rocks off doing it. Because they're a lot like Brandon Kirks. Okay? They're a lot like Desert Lasers, Vultures. They're trolls. With a picture, with a body part on their shoulder. Because they have no morals. Because they have no common sense. It's been bred out of them. What can I say? So quit complaining about what you created. If you want a world that's better, we the humans are what make this world what it is. And when we grow up, we can have a better world. But if we don't never grow up, then we'll continue to fight like little kids, won't we?